Series 1 is one of the best series of Doctor Who. It's a take that many of us would have undoubtedly have heard over the last couple of years. We're on to the third episode of it now, namely the Unquiet Dead. Will this episode live up to the ones that we've seen so far? Let's find out. But quickly, if you would like to hear my in-depth thoughts about this episode, I did do an in-depth podcast recording about it several months ago.
Nice.
The link will be in the description. One thing I noticed early on is Alan Davis' delivery of his lines. It's posh but delayed and sincere.
May I have a moment?
Yes, of course. I should be in the next room should you require anything.
He gives a great performance as Gabriel Sneed, and I think it's worth mentioning that since Simon Callow always gets the plaudits.
Then you kidnapped me and don't think I didn't feel your hands up in a quick wonder, you
filthy pervert! Okay, let me grab it.
I too like the line "we got another one." It consolidates the viewer as to why he wasn't surprised when he saw the elderly lady attack. I appreciate how Gaius writes Sneed as respectful to Gwyneth in this sequence by listening to her and acknowledging her sentiment. This makes the lad's reappraisal of the former later on more justified. The last time I watched this before the latest time to review it for this, I watched it back to back with The Beast Below to see how the first proper companion adventures of Rose and Amy hold up, and whilst The Beast Below takes some leaves out of the Unquiet Dead's book, The Unquiet Dead does a wonderful job of presenting Rose's wonderment, something The Beast Below cannot replicate. Though perhaps unintentional of the writing, I made a parallel between Charles Dickens and the Doctor. Charles was a lonely traveller, as was the Doctor before he met Rose. Earlier in the episode, Rose says that travelling is better with two, reaffirming her affiliation with the Doctor. I also like how Callow, who plays Dickens, portrays that I've got to get on with it while talking about performing the same play over and over again. But more so how the Doctor enters the carriages later, he reaffirms that Charles is a genius and has many excellent novels. The screaming and wheezing of the Gelf is headache-inducing.
See that?
Why are you laughing for? What, Chris? Why are you laughing for? Why are you laughing for? I'm being serious. No, you see, I'm talking facts here. I don't do if, buts and maybes. I do absolutes.
Anyway, to get to the carriage scene, it's simply excellent. References to Dickinson's work kindle with chaotic energy between the trio being the Doctor, Dickens and the driver, and excellent humour.
I'm such a big fan. What? Big what? Fan. Number one fan, that's me. How exactly are you a fan?
While short-lived, the corpse getting Rose before the Doctor got to the room was a neat subversion of expectation, as the niche approach would be for the Doctor to reach her in the nick of time. The scene transition is excellently timed and often executed as a joke, which is humourful. When discussing the events that had just passed, instead of Charles being presented as a persistent whinger, he exits the room to be intuitive and find the wires he had hoped to find on the corpse to justify why he had not believed in the extraterrestrials.
I'm such a big fan.
Callow is excellent as Dickens, it goes without saying, and I really enjoy the moment where he asks the Doctor if his life had been for nothing, though unfortunately we don't get an answer as we transition into the next scene with Rose and Gwyneth. The scene in question is alright at best, though the standout line for me is the parallel it establishes with Father's Day, a future episode.
My father died years back.
You've been thinking about him lately more than ever?
I suppose so.
I do wonder if audiences would have known that Rose's father would be appearing later in the series. Regardless of if they did or didn't, it's a neat Easter egg even now. This exchange between the Doctor and Rose is terrific.
But we can't.
Why not?
It's not... I mean, it's not...
Not decent, not polite. It could save their lives.
Open the rift. Let the Gelf through.
Gwyneth talking about how Rose thinks she's stupid can be parallel to how Rose earlier asked whether she went to school. The religious subtext of her decision to help the Gelf is relatable and well written.
I know my own mind. And the angels need me. Doctor, what do I have to do?
I can't help but notice a political anti-refugee accusation made against Gaius now that I've heard about it. It does seem touch and go, but I highly doubt Gaius meant for any offence to be caused. The slightly her neck crack killing Mr. Sneed before the Gelf enter his body is a really good transformation sequence and effective body horror for a family show in particular. Again, Eccleston and Piper, their chemistry is fantastic, so when Rose stares at him after Gwyneth has sacrificed herself to kill the Gelf, I truly feel the tension and Rose's disbelief that the Doctor would have allowed that to happen. Whilst Gaius have received accusations about portraying the less fortunate as opportunities through alleged subtext, him giving praise to a quote-unquote servant girl who will never be known was an excellent moment, and I adore the camera work as the camera pans away and upward. Ending with Charles Dickens completely won over the future and outer space shenanigans, yet still having him see the TARDIS dematerialise, it was an excellent move from a writing perspective. So, is it a hit or a miss? The Unquiet Dead is a fairly strong tale with some notably excellent direction and performances from the entire cast. Whilst there's not too much wrong with it, it just doesn't elevate me as a viewer, but that can be attributed to the fact that this episode is trying to tell a story whilst also establishing the ground rules of time travel and the morality of the Doctor. I can understand the criticism that it is boring, though I disagree, as I think there's enough good content in here, though the gas resolution can be seen as a non-starter, I'll give you that. The episode is unremarkable, but in my opinion, good nonetheless. I give the Unquiet Dead a hit and a 7 out of 10. What do you guys think of the Unquiet Dead? As always, please leave a comment, a like and a subscription. Thank you very much for watching, see you guys next week, goodbye.